I want to talk about, the kind of art that you have created, you've curated, you've participated in since you discovered and wrote about the experience and had that moment of liberation and was able to function the way you were in present rather than the version of you prior to the experience.
Yes.
Right? So let's talk about the kind of art that you did afterwards, because we know street legal, ER, all that happened. But then there's been this really huge body of work that you've participated in and you've consciously participated in and a lot of it is very message based. Talk to me about that.
So I think that the short story I really felt was it. I felt like I was done because I identify as an actor, not a writer, and I'm an actor for hire, so I work on other people's projects.
Of course.
But I think the short story just opened up a kind of an articulation of my experiences that I didn't know I could do. And it was enough for me to have done it. It was more about what do I want to leave in the world? Like what do I want to communicate? Richard Rorty is a great philosopher who says that the act of art, I'm paraphrasing terribly, but the act of art is an opportunity for the audience to know what it is to be another person. And I thought rather than not out of shame or anything, because I've always been very prolific about what happened to me.
Of course.
But the articulation of it within a creative and artistic theatrical construct, which is my world.
Yes.
And to offer it in that way, all of a sudden made the specifics of what happened to me and where I was born and what I have gone through universal. And the universality of the human experience, regardless of the specifics, made me want to continue writing.
Right.
And after Crash, which was specifically about rape and the loss of my father, I felt like, well, there's more than me suffering depression.
Yes.
There's more than just my story. In fact, I want to tell the story of the woman who says, nothing happened to me. I don't know why I can't get out of bed. I am not like you.
Right.
You're the real victim. You're the pure victim. What am I? I'm married. I got 2 kids. I have a good job. I have a lovely husband. I got a nice house. And I can't get out of bed and I want to die and I have no right to feel that way.
Is that why you wrote the most recent body of work?
Yeah. So I wrote a play about 7 women who were in an inpatient care facility who suffered from depression, and not the depression that is specific to me.
Yes.
It's more common than we know. 1 in 2 women in North America suffer debilitating depression. They don't even know it. They just don't know what's wrong with them.
I think it's a part and parcel of the fact that as women are just meant to get through shit.
Yes, exactly.
That's just the way it is, right? We're just meant to deal with it and carry on. It's the way that our mothers did it, their mothers did it, and we feel that we need to also, it's almost like, I'm not a woman if I can't take this indelible pain, without realizing that, at some point when it becomes debilitating or it becomes unhealthy for you, that you need to kind of look back and say to yourself that I don't want to live in this space. I don't want to be this version of myself, right?
Yeah, but the difficulty with that is you're living, even those who are in the most loving constructs, I think we have a built-in hierarchy, and that's why I wanted to write Happy Place, my play that went on at Soul Pepper, because it's like even within this place of nurturing and healing, there was a hierarchy of this person was raped, this person wasn't raped, this person was gang raped, this person lost their mother, this person can't have children. Like, are they all in the same boat? Yes, they are.
They are.
And we ourselves create this hierarchy that is absolutely irrelevant.
And ridiculous. Is that the reason, Pamela, that you also decided to participate in Nirbhaya?
Yeah.
So because that also is a story of many very horrific experiences that many different types of women from our culture had, but they're all as horrific as each other, but they're all very different. So you're alluding to that for me.
Well, Nirbhaya was a very specific thing, because so I've written Crash, that's in my own words. I've written Happy Place, that's in my own words. and I'm writing the film now for Happy Place. It's been funded by Telefilm, and I'm writing the screenplay, so I feel like that's going to go out in the world.
Yes.
And what the stories I want to tell that are worthy of telling and need and necessary to be told are going out in the world. But Nirbhaya is written by Yael Farber. It's had a life long before me, a very successful life.
Yes.
And when Yael invited me to come into the show, she said, I call it a show, but it's not a show. She said that they needed an element that was not, it was not so easy to point to India and say this is happening over there. I was a North American element that when you are getting comfortable on this North American tour, because I was invited for the New York run and London.
And that's where I saw it.
That's where, so I came on for that. It was like, so you see 4 testimonials, and just when you're getting comfortable that there are Indian women
ever happens
who are
in India.
suffering over there, I come forward with my story, and it is an every woman's story, very similarly to Jyoti Singh Pandey's. Any woman could have gotten on any bus at 9 o'clock in the evening, and her life is taken.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I think that element was extremely important, and I felt like, you know, there's art and the articulation of things that go beyond the realm of human experience within art, but then also you have to say there's social advocacy. And the people who saw Happy Place, the people who saw Crash, are only the people who saw Happy Place and Crash.
Right.
Nirbhaya was going out in the world in a way that was way beyond anything I had done with my work. And there was a responsibility to take that post-traumatic stress disorder story, to have a woman on stage who's saying, I'm not an actor in a play, I'm telling you my own story 20 years later. And those last lines that Yael wrote for me, may I be the lotus born of the mud. You know, it's true. There's a question that I'm not, and there's a question that maybe I can be today. And I think it was really important for people to say, this is somebody who's been living her life with this, hand in hand with this event, and she's standing here tonight, and when she goes home, we might all be crying and feel better or feel moved or feel changed, but her legs might shake when she goes to sleep. Nothing will have changed for her.
Right.
The story that she's offering is not a play. It's real.
And it actually doesn't really change her life, telling it.
Doesn't. Exactly,
Right.
Raj.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't change a thing. But everything is changed because
Absolutely.
it was said out loud, you know? So I think that was definitely a huge thing, that a necessary evolution out of my own work into another's work.
So I want to close, Pam, by asking you one thing. Happy Place is obviously your work. I went to see it, and it was just incredible to watch just how many women go through really the same thing in many different ways, right? Really is what I got out of it, right? You are taking that into the feature film realm. Talk to me a little bit about why you decided to do that. Okay. Telefilm, of course, is supporting you in that, right? And when can we see it?
Again, accidental. It seems like everything happens accidentally. So
nothing happens by accident.
I did Crash, and the producers, Jennifer Kawaja and Julia Sereny from Siena, saw it, and they asked me if I was writing anything else, and I said, yeah, I'm half writing a play. Send us the play. Sent them the play. They optioned an unfinished play because they felt that it was a film. It could be a gorgeous film. So, but I said I needed to write the play first, and I wanted the play to be produced. So when Soul Pepper Theatre Company, which is our country's national, like a national treasure of a theatre company, took it on, no issues about budget, design, anything. Was like, whatever you want, we'll do it. They have the artistic, the infrastructure to support it in that way. So I said I needed to this kind of opportunity does not come for new playwrights ever. Right. You write your plays and they never get produced. So this was huge for me to have this show. So they agreed to hold on the film. So we did the play. I'm now writing the screenplay. We have Telefilm funding, so I have to hand in my second draft now, and they hope to shoot in 2016 fall or 2017 early at the latest, a full feature film of adaptation from the play. And I've decided, and this is extremely close to my heart, to write a play about 3 couples in the 1970s in Winnipeg who are from India.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, if you've seen Ice Storm,
I am so
have
excited.
you seen Ice Storm?
I haven't actually,
Okay.
no.
Have you seen The Namesake?
Yes.
So it's The Namesake meets Ice Storm.
Wow.
We're doing the 70s in Winnipeg. My parents, before any of us were born.
Of course.
And that's the immigrant story I'm interested in telling. And it's not about being an immigrant.
Yeah.
It's about being in love with a husband you hardly know. It's about being in love with a husband you know and love. It's about being new. It's about being free. It's about sex. It's about rock and roll. It's about pot.
Yeah.
It's about homosexuality. It's about a lot of things that have to do with being human. Only it's taking place amongst these 3 couples in a new country and with very little support. So I'm
when is this
really
coming about?
excited.
When is this coming
Well,
about?
I've already written the first 20 minutes of it.
Okay.
And and it's already being like discussed about being optioned as a film, and again I'm saying it would make a great film, but I really want to write it as a play first. So it'll be at Soul Pepper hopefully in 2017.
So you know what we need to do then, you and I, and people like you and I, is figure out the disjoint between the person that's creating the product and the person that is telling the community why they need to be interested in it, why it's relevant for them to see it.
And this sort of touches on what I said about what we were talking about in New York about having people who look like us go to the theater. If you want to see people who look like you on stage, in front of the camera, on TV, out of a Bollywood context, you have to support Canadian art.
Absolutely, period.
Period. That's it. You don't have to go if it's about us. You don't have to go if it's within a context that is popular cinema. You go because the person who wrote this play that is about nothing Indian is Indian.
Absolutely.
And until we do that, nothing will change.
Yes.
And let me tell you, places like Soul Pepper, they're watching their audiences and they are giving their audiences what their audiences want. And nothing makes me happier than when I did Nirbhaya and I'd look out into that huge audience and see 50% brown faces.
Right.
And I want that to translate into mainstream culture.
Right.
Because I am a Canadian actor, I'm a Canadian playwright, and I need my community to support me, as does Raoul Bhaneja, as does Anita Majumdar. We need that, and if we are to grow beyond a very concentrated area, we need to support each other in the audiences.
Absolutely.
We need to see our community being proud of us. So
that is the gap that we need to figure out. So let's figure it out.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Such a pleasure. Chatting with you always, sweetheart.
I adore you. This is so great.
Absolutely adore you. You know that as well. Thank you sincerely for sharing your story with my audience. Love you.
Love you too.